Are you ready for all things generic? I hope so because it's time for our weekly episode of All Things Generic. I am your host, Eric. Hey, thank you so much for joining this week. Super excited to have you along. If you haven't done it yet, why don't you hit the like and the subscribe button? I'd love for you to do that. And turn on the notifications too. It'll let you know when a new episode drops. What are we going to do today? What's on tap? Well, we're going to talk about what we do every week. Maggie is really excited about us talking about this. So, what we're going to do, we're talking about what went well this week, which honestly, not much. To be honest with you, not sure I really wanted to film this episode, but I need to be honest, I need to be vulnerable, and I need to be transparent, so I'm doing it. So we're in for a fun one. So we're going to talk about what went well, what didn't go well, which unfortunately was quite a lot. And then two topics that I want to talk a little bit about. I've talked about this idea around this new identity around fitness. Well, the more I think about it, I need to create a new identity around food too. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to process that in real time with you. And then I want to talk a little bit about food addiction. I had some interesting conversations this week around that. And just wanted to share some thoughts and some challenges and struggles with that that might be helpful and encouraging to you. But no, just kidding. We're not going to do that. Not going to go down that road again. So, with that being said, let's dive into the weekly retro. Let's talk about what went well this week. All right, as we talked about what went well this week. Well, as you see, not much went well. We'll talk about why that is here in a moment when we dive into the what didn't go well. But yeah, my eating wasn't great. I did continue working out, so the lifting routine is still going strong. Pretty excited about that. I feel like I've been getting stronger. I've been seeing some really good gains as well in some of the work that I've been doing. And it's pretty much routine. It's not something that I have to negotiate anymore. There are some days where I don't feel like I want to do it, but it's not quite the mental battle that it used to be. And so, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I should celebrate that the workout routine is still going strong. I also threw on there that I did a lot of manual labor this week. My dad and I worked on, we're trying to put some shade over the pool because I have very minimal trees in my yard. And man, that pool can feel like a bathtub during this time of year when it's in the high 90s. So we're just trying to cool it down a couple of degrees to make it a little bit more enjoyable. And man, that was a lot of manual labor. Digging 2.5 foot holes into the hard clay here in Carolina. That was no fun whatsoever. But I did it, and I actually did a lot more of it than what I would have been able to do about 6 months ago. So that was pretty exciting. So yeah, unfortunately, there wasn't a whole lot else that went well this week. So we are going to dive now into, well, if it didn't go well, then something must not have went very well at all. So let's talk about that. What didn't go well? Well, I ate really poorly. One of the things that I failed to do as well is I didn't meal plan going into the week. And add on top of that, I was off from Wednesday until Monday. And I forgot that when I'm off work, and one, if I don't have a plan, and two, if I don't have anything to do, I get bored really easily. And when I get bored, guess what I like to do? I like to eat. And it's not like I want to eat a salad or I want to eat something healthy for me. Fill in the blank. Is it sad that all I could think of that's healthy is a salad? So yeah, I did not eat well last week. I ate very, very poorly. I mean, poorly to the point of Cheetos. I had Cheetos one day. I had Cheetos over the course of 2 days because I didn't finish the bag in the first time, but I finished it the second time. Not sure that's great. Wavy Lay's. It has to be wavy. I don't like the other non-wavy kind, even though they taste pretty much the same. Yep, Wavy Lay's. Had a bag or two of those over that course of time. Had way too many sweets. Had some cheesecake. Had some carrot cake. Had some red velvet cake. And again, when I eat the cake, it's the frosting. It's not really the cake that I'm eating. I don't know why I just don't buy frosting and eat that. Although maybe I don't need to give myself that idea because that's a whole other avenue that we're going down. So yeah, it was just a struggle. And I'm sitting there multiple times thinking, this isn't lining up with my goals. Why am I doing this? This isn't what I want to do, but I'm doing it anyway. Part of it was boredom. Part of it was not having a plan. Part of it, I think, honestly, was was a lack of courage in telling myself no. I mean, it was easier. It was easier to say yes. It was easier to say yes and just indulge. Because, man, is it a battle when it's something that you enjoy, quote unquote, enjoy. That needs to be in quotations. So yeah, that didn't go well last week at all. But this week has been a much better start. I've got back on track. I didn't do a full meal plan, but I did plan out some meals. I guess then I did some level of meal planning this week. I know what I'm having for lunches. I had a plan when I went into the cafeteria yesterday. I know what I'm doing for dinners, and that makes it a heck of a lot easier. So, what else didn't go well? Well, I had a gout flare-up. I don't know if you've ever had gout. Holy crap, is it painful. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. If you don't know what it is, it's a buildup of uric acid in the joint, and just the feeling of air hitting it, like literally a fan blowing on it, insanely painful. I used to get flare-ups quite frequently, maybe once every 3 months, once every 5 months, really depending on what I ate. I'm not sure what did it this time, because I haven't had a flare-up in a while, well over a year, I think, maybe even longer. But I did have a lot of shrimp over the weekend, which that is something that can cause it, and red meat is another one that can cause it. And I did eat a lot of meatballs over the weekend, and they did have beef in them, beef and pork. That's the only thing I can think of that may have done that, but that was Sunday that it flared up. Thankfully, it only lasted a day. It was in my ankle. The first time I ever got it was in my toe. I'm not honestly sure which is worse, the toe or the ankle. I was walking with my cane on Sunday that I had from when I had knee surgery. Oh, yeah, it was miserable. Couldn't do anything. I could barely walk. When I walked, it was painful. So, all of that to say, last week didn't go well. But this is a new week. This is the start of a new week. I haven't let myself continue down that path. I have made the necessary corrections. And I'm back to making progress. I think the important thing to remember is that we're not going for perfection anyway. We're going for progress. And yeah, those 3 to 5 days that I was off, that wasn't progress. But I can't beat myself up. I need to understand why I did it. I need to feel the feelings of not living up to my values. But I can't spiral out of control, and I can't let that turn into another bad week and another bad week. Because then I'm just back at the same place that I was, and I don't want to be there. Don't want to be there. Let's talk about our first topic, this new identity. What in the world am I talking about? Well, if you've watched previous episodes, you should go check them out. I don't think I can link them here, but they might be in the description, or you can figure it out. You're pretty smart. Go to the channel, check it out. Other episodes, they're pretty sweet. Anyway, we've talked about this new identity, and I was talking about this gentleman. His name is Lane Norton. You can follow him at BioLane on Instagram. He is a fitness guru. He's a PhD in something or other. Super smart guy, super informative. He's a power lifter. He's just a really cool follow for me, anyways. But I was watching one of his videos, and I remember him saying something along the lines of, if you want to lose weight, you've got to form a new identity. It can't be something that's just an add-on. And so I've talked about in the past that I've really changed my identity around fitness. I really focused on that. I would say near the end of last year, like maybe the last quarter, October, November, December, and really focused on identity statements. I am a fitness guy. I am a guy that works out. I am somebody who enjoys exercising. Like really trying to instill this new identity in myself, because for the longest time, working out was just something, it was an add-on. It was something that I might do one day, might not do the next day, because it wasn't part of my identity. But I've changed that, and successfully now for the last, gosh, I would almost say 9 months, maybe 10, coming on 10, I've been working out nearly every single day. This is probably the longest that I have sustained working out continuously, maybe in my entire life. Let me say that again. This might be the longest I've continued working out in my entire life. This identity change has really been powerful, because when I wake up in the morning, working out isn't negotiable. It's not like, oh, am I going to do this? Am I not? No, like that is what I do. I am a fitness guy. I am a guy that works out. I enjoy exercising. That's part of what I do. And I miss it when I don't do it. So that was pretty exciting. So as I've been thinking about my journey, a new identity is starting to creep up. And this is probably the harder one. And honestly, I've kind of been putting this off for a little bit, because I know I need to do it, but I haven't done it. I need to do it. I don't want to do it, but I need to do it. And that is this new identity around food. Oh, that's going to be hard, because everything we do, think about this, the culture that we live in, food is all around us. Food is integrated into nearly everything that we do. And it's not necessarily the healthy type of food that is integrated into our society. I mean, we talked already about ultra-processed foods and how readily available and addictive those things are, and how terrible they are for you. So yeah, I need to form this new identity around food. So I thought, hey, why don't I just talk this out in real time on the podcast? You're welcome. Hopefully it's helpful. You'll see me struggle through the conversation. And if you have any tips or thoughts, I would love to hear it. Drop a comment on the page. I would love to hear your thoughts about this new identity on food. I was talking with, we'll call him Dr. Doug, this weekend. And we were talking about this very thing about food and this identity. And he was telling me that after he switched to eating more of a paleo diet, he's like, no, I don't miss these foods. I don't enjoy them. It's not what I do. I eat this way because I enjoy it, because it's right for me. So I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I don't feel like I'm losing out. And I thought that was really powerful, because we've talked about it in the past episodes that, man, there's an emotional attachment to food for me and for many people. I've talked about the thought of never being able to eat my dad's lasagna again. Like, that's terrifying, because there's such an emotional attachment to that. And let me be clear too, I don't think that means, even as I develop this new identity, I don't think that means that I can't ever have that again. But right now, I can't have it, because it opens way too many floodgates. And we'll talk a little bit about that when we talk about food addiction. But But yeah, so I'm thinking about this new identity. What is this new identity around food? What is it that I need to start forming this new identity around? And I had a couple of statements of things I don't do, which isn't all that helpful for creating a new identity. But I think for me, it's helping me think about, okay, well, if I don't do this, what are the positive things that I do when it comes to food? So a couple thoughts that I had is about, as I think about this new identity, I don't eat for enjoyment. That's tough. I don't eat for enjoyment. Now, I'm not saying that I don't enjoy my food, but I'm thinking that I need to change and break this pattern that I have of at the end of the workday or whatever, and I just I just want to relax and enjoy a good meal. That's a big struggle. So that's a thought that I have. I don't eat for enjoyment. I don't eat to soothe my feelings. That's a big one. When you get stressed out, if you're sad, if you're hurt, or maybe I should personalize this to say when I'm stressed out, when I'm hurt, when I'm not feeling well, I just want to eat. So I don't eat to soothe. Another one that I have on here is I don't eat to celebrate. And this is a big one. My family does this a lot, and a lot of families do. This isn't unique to my family. When we get together to celebrate, often it's around a meal. But I'm trying to break that habit. I mean, if you tuned into the episode last week, I think it was last week or the week before, I finally hit the weight plateau. And how did I celebrate? I celebrated by eating cookies. How ridiculous is that? I ate cookies. That's crazy. I can't do that. I got to break that pattern. I need to. And thank you. I think, Scott, it was you that dropped some comments in there for alternative ideas. Or maybe that was Adam. I forget. One of you two. Thank you very much for those recommendations. So those are things that I'm saying I'm not going to do. So what are some positive statements? What are some statements around things that I will do? So a couple statements that I'm throwing around. I eat to fuel my body. I eat to fuel my body. If that's true, if that's going to be my identity, then that shapes my decisions around what I eat. If I eat to fuel my body, and I want to fuel my body for what I say last time, maximum performance and peak efficiency, if I want to do that, then that informs the decisions that I make about the foods that I eat. So that could help. Maybe that's an identity statement. I eat to fuel my body. Okay. Why else do I eat? I eat so that I can exercise and play sports. I enjoy working out. I enjoy playing sports a lot. Sports have been a big part of my life. So I eat so that I can exercise and play sports. That could be a slippery slope because maybe I could find the excuse of, oh, well, I'm going to go play something or exercise so I can eat whatever I want. But if I still have the I eat to fuel my body, maybe that negates that. And I can't get away with that as much. And then a third one that I have, because Dr. Doug says we should do things in threes, I am a healthy eater. I don't find these as motivating as the workout ones. I am a fitness guy. Like, that to me just sounds like, hey, yeah, I am a guy that works out. I don't know. What do you think? Do you have any suggestions? As you're forming a new identity around food, how would you be forming that? What would you be doing? What are some of your identity statements? I eat to fuel my body. I eat so that I can exercise and play sports. I am a healthy eater. I wish I had a couple more I am statements. I think I need to work on that. I am eating to fuel my body. I am eating so that I can exercise and play sports. I am a healthy eater. Interesting. Potential. All right, so that is the new identity. We've talked a lot about the fitness identity, about how I'm a fitness guy. Now I'm working on an identity around food. What is my identity and my relationship with food? Oh, man, it's a battle. It's a battle. It's a daily battle. And actually, this is a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about next, which is this idea of food addiction. Food addiction is a bitch. I'm just gonna say it. Like, it's a bitch. It is. It is so hard. I've actually heard. If you know who Dax Shepard is, he has his Armchair Expert podcast, one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to, and he is a drug and alcohol addict, and he talks a lot about. He's actually said this multiple times. He said, I can't imagine being addicted to food. He said, drugs, alcohol, you can avoid. Food, you can't. And I remember he was talking to an actress, I don't want to get her name wrong, who struggled with eating disorder. And he talked about just asking her, like, how do you do it? How do you... I guess in maybe AA they have this idea of like you're taking the tiger out of the cage. If like you go to a bar and there's alcohol there, like you're taking the tiger out of the cage. It's like, so we can avoid that. Like we avoid doing that, but you have to take the tiger out of the cage at least 3 times a day to eat. How do you wrestle that tiger? What do you do? And honestly, it's hard. It's a never-ending battle. And it's not just 3 times a day, because in between meals, I can get hungry, I can get bored, and then I want to eat or whatever. But it's never ending. It's never ending. I do think it gets easier, and there are easier times of the day for me. Like I've mentioned before, nighttime is the hardest time of day for me to do. To fight this battle. But I think there are ways to minimize the fight. And so just a couple ideas that I had that I've done or haven't done as successfully. Take your pick. One, and this is pretty obvious, but I can't have tempting foods in my house. Because if I'm trying to fight the temptation of that craving and it's just in the refrigerator, I'm not going to win that battle. 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to win that battle. I've got to avoid some of these things so that I'm minimizing that temptation. So there are some foods that I have to avoid, which we'll get into here in a minute. Number 2, what are another thing that I try to do to minimize this fight with the addiction? I need to avoid ordering food when I'm in a high stress situation. High stress could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be, you fill in the blank. When I get into that mode and it's almost maybe fight or flight, or I get, I don't know, I know the feeling though. It's like, oh, I need to eat. I need to avoid ordering. And when I say ordering, I mean Uber Eats, I mean DoorDash, I mean Instacart. Those are so easy. The barrier to entry is so dang easy. And it's like, oh, here we go. Bam. I mean, I could order something in less than 5 seconds. Especially Uber Eats. Go in, you previous orders, reorder, bam. It's ridiculously easy. Ridiculously easy. So I have to avoid, when I'm in that high stress situation, I just can't do it. Like, I'm not allowed to order during that time. Number 3, there are certain foods that I just can't eat. So I was talking about this with my dad's lasagna. There's food that when we talk about binge eating, we talk about trigger foods. What are some foods that could trigger binge eating? Pizza, for sure. It is so hard for me to only have one or two slices. I don't get it. I don't want just one or two slices. I want the whole damn pizza. And if there's more pizza there, I want the rest of it. So I have to avoid pizza. Spaghetti is another one. Spaghetti was my absolute favorite meal growing up, and probably still is today. But if I have spaghetti in my refrigerator, I will eat it every meal until it's gone. And I'll eat it in between meals until it's gone. I have no self-control. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to sit here and tell you that I don't know how to not eat the entire batch of spaghetti. My brain just doesn't work that way. It reminds me of the West Wing episode where Leo was talking to... He did this in two different episodes. One, he was talking to his lawyer. The other one, he was talking to the lady that he fired but eventually rehired. And he says, I don't understand. In one of the episodes, he says, I don't understand people who just want one drink. My brain isn't wired that way. I don't want just one drink. I want all the drinks. My brain just doesn't work that way. And I feel the same way about food. Now, it's not all food. My brain doesn't want all the salads. Maybe that would be better if it did, but it doesn't. But it wants all the damn pizza. It wants all the damn spaghetti. What's another one? Chicken nuggets. But they have to be a specific kind. It can't be just the pure white meat. Those are ugh and dry. Yeah. Chicken nuggets was another one. Chicken wings used to be... That one I can actually have in moderation these days, which is kind of nice. My dad's lasagna, which is so unfortunate, but it's in there. It's right up there with spaghetti for me, that if it's in my refrigerator, I'm not going to stop eating it until it's gone. Yeah. And ice cream can be that way too, as well. So food addiction, it's not something we talk a lot about, but it's real and it's hard as hell. But there are things that we can do. And I'm here as living proof, as hope that it's not that I don't know that the battle will ever end, but the battle does get easier. I hesitate to even say easier. The battle changes over time. Let's put it that way. The battle changes over time. I think I can say it's gotten a little easier. At times. It's so conflicting. Ugh. Anyway. All right, so we talked about the weekly retro. I told you guys about what went well, what didn't go well, how bad of a week I had. What am I going to do to aim for better? So I talked about this a little bit already. I did do some meal prep. I did that this week, and it's going better. The week is going better. A lot better than last week. What else am I going to do to aim for better? I need to get another day of cardio in. I need to get that. Also, I got a new leg machine. It's a leg curl and extension combo. Excuse me. I need to put that together to make my leg days even better. So that's how I'm going to aim for better next week. Now, if you've made it this far, thank you. I've got a treat for you, because in an upcoming episode, I'm actually going to interview a fitness coach. And he is going to evaluate my current workout routine and my eating routine. And we're going to talk in real time on the podcast about what I can do better, what he might suggest I tweak, how I could maybe optimize my meal plan or my workouts for better results. So stay tuned for that. That might be the next episode, or it might be the one after that. We'll find out. But until then, I encourage you, please, how can you aim for better? How can you make your life just a little bit better today so that your tomorrow will be just a little bit better? Just take one small step. Maybe it's a couple steps down the driveway. Maybe it's halfway down the block like my friend Scott did. Please, tell me about something. Tell me what you did. Tell me how you are aiming for better today. All Things Generic, signing out.